What's up, everyone? We're going to be going through the best NBA Summer League player props on Prizepicks today. Now, I did want to show you the results from the other day's picks as we had no games yesterday from my exclusive Discord group. And as you guys see, we actually got 22 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak. But if you want to get 22 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon. Should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $500 just yesterday, and another member who won $600 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description. So go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout to Eligio Jackie May who said I won. Also shouts out to Ricardo Gioza 2981 who said let's cash out today. Let's go. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is none other than actually for points, and this one is actually for Judah Mintz for 14.5 points, and this one is for less. Now guys, we can't actually look at the last 5 games. With Summer League, it is a little bit different. Not all the stats are actually recorded and all that, so we do have to just go off some basic information that we do have. Now when it comes to Philadelphia's Judah Mintz, we have seen him do a decent job for this Summer League team. Now this one is for 14.5 points. He's had some great games in the past. Now they do face off against Brooklyn. Now, like I mentioned before, the stats are a little bit different with Summer League. They don't actually do the points, rebounds, and assists. They actually just do off defensive rating. And we do see that Brooklyn Nets actually rank very poor when it actually comes to their defensive rating. They actually do rank 28th. So it is pretty interesting to see. They have a pretty poor defensive rating, and we definitely see that having a huge effect coming into this game. Now, looking at these teams, we also have seen that when it comes to Brooklyn and Philly, both have been playing at a pretty slow-paced type game. Both aren't really high-scoring pace teams, and because of that, we definitely see that affecting both Philly, Judah Mintz, and also the actual game as a whole. So for that reason, like I said, guys, we have very basic stats when it comes to this, but there is still some great, picks in this one. So this one's a great one for Judah Mintz, 14.5 points. And this one actually is for less. Now, getting into the next player, we're actually going to be talking about points, rebounds, and assists, or PRA, for Maxwell Lewis for 19.5, and this one actually is for less. Now, Maxwell Lewis has been playing great for Dallas, and as you all know, we actually have seen Dallas play really well at times. Now, we do know Cooper has actually decided to rest the rest of the Summer League, so Maxwell Lewis and the rest of the Dallas squad have definitely been playing great without him. Now, although Maxwell does have a decent usage rate, we do actually see him going on the under in this situation here. When it comes to Orlando, we actually see that they are a great, fantastic defensive team. When it comes to the defensive ranking, they do actually rank 9th, which I think is fantastic to see there. And on top of that, we also do see that when it comes to Maxwell Lewis, we actually are expecting a pretty slow-paced game from both of these teams. We actually see Dallas' pace is very slow, Orlando's pace is very slow, and with both of these teams being very slow-paced teams, we are expecting that to affect Maxwell Lewis's, usage rate out there. Now, he is a great player, and as we all know, Summer League does work a little bit different. You don't tend to just see some of the big players play all the games. Sometimes they get taken off early, sometimes their minutes are restricted, and that unpredictability is what really leads us to like the under for someone like Maxwell Lewis. So for that reason, keep an eye out for his line. I see a lot of value there to go on the under. So Maxwell Lewis, 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than 3 points made. This one is actually for Bronny James for 1.5, and this one is for less. Now, as you all know, Bronny James, great player for none other than, Los Angeles Lakers. And when we look at Los Angeles Lakers, they do have themselves a very good matchup against Denver. Now, when we look at Denver, we actually do see that they do a pretty decent job when it comes to actually, defensive rating at that, we actually do see them ranked 14th, which is pretty good. Now, it is still pretty mid-tier, but where we definitely are expecting, someone like Bronny to actually go in the under is due to the fact that Lakers actually don't take a lot of threes. Lakers do rank 20th when it comes to 3 points attempt allowed. When it comes to 3 points made allowed, they do rank 23rd, and then 3-point percentage allowed, they also do rank 23rd. So, it is pretty interesting to see. They rank very, very low in that 3-pointing category, and we aren't expecting someone like Bronny James to really do much of the 3-point scoring. We also have, Dalton Connects in that team, so we are expecting someone like him to do a lot more of that 3-ball, and Bronny James' play style isn't really reliant on the 3-ball as well. So with all those things being said, we definitely still do like the under for, someone like Bronny coming into this matchup. Although he does have a high usage rate, we still definitely like the under for this one. So keep an eye out for none other than Bronny James for 1.5 3 points made for less. I think is a fantastic pick. All right, so as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but Prizepicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So like I mentioned before, guys and girls, I do have to mention that the stats are going to be working a little bit differently. When it comes to the stats, we are going to be looking at some specific things, but first player I want to talk about is Enrique Freeman. So great player for Indiana Pacers. We did actually see him, play some pretty big minutes last season. Now, obviously, these stats are from actually the regular season rather than Summer League. Now, they haven't actually recorded any of those stats, but we can actually look at, Indiana Pacers and also Enrique Freeman in their last matchup, which was against New York Knicks. Now, in this next matchup, they do face off against New Orleans, but first talking about their most recent matchup, Enrique Freeman actually had 30 minutes out there on the floor. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists, which I thought was fantastic to see. So he definitely played a big role for Indiana Pacers. Now, like I mentioned, Indiana face off against New Orleans, and New Orleans defense have been very, very low. Their defensive rating is actually 26, which is very low, and we definitely are expecting someone like Enrique to be able to take advantage of that. Especially coming into this game, we are expecting a good amount of pace from both of these teams. So for that reason, we are expecting Enrique to go on the over, whether it's points, rebounds, and assists. Now, obviously, Enrique does have a little bit more of a higher usage rate in points and rebounds due to the fact that he tends to play that forward position. But I think overall, we could definitely see someone like him be able to go on the over. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Enrique Freeman there on his line, because there could be a lot of value there to go on the over. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Jahmir Young. So, Jahmir Young from Chicago Bulls, also another great player. Now, like I mentioned, these stats are actually from the regular season. And when we look at the Summer League, Chicago face off against Utah in this next matchup. Now, looking at his last matchup, which was actually against Milwaukee Bucks, we did see Jahmir Young actually have himself a pretty decent game. We saw him actually have 40 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. So, Jahmir Young is an absolute scorer. He's definitely shown that time and time again. Now, coming into this next matchup, we definitely do like, the under for this situation here due to the fact that when we look at their matchup, they face off against Utah Jazz. Now, obviously, when we look at the normal Utah Jazz, we wouldn't expect them to be great defensively, but this Utah Jazz Summer League team has actually been great defensively, and that's why we do very much like the under for this situation here. We see someone like Jahmir Young going on the under due to that situation. So for that reason, keep an eye out for someone like Jahmir Young coming into this matchup. Now, getting into the next player, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Noah Penda. So, Noah Penda from actually, Orlando Magic has done a great job. Now, obviously, there is no stats as he is a rookie yet. So, there's no regular season stats just listed. But Orlando Magic have themselves a great matchup against Dallas Mavericks, which is going to be an exciting game. Now, looking at Noah Penda in a most recent matchup, Noah actually had 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists against Brooklyn Nets. And we are actually expecting him to do the same thing against Dallas. Now, looking at Dallas actually do a poor job defensively. They actually rank very, very low when it comes to, defensive rating. They actually rank low as 18th. So for that reason, we are expecting someone like Noah Penda to actually go on the over and be able to take advantage of it. So, like I mentioned, when it comes to these sort of stats, obviously there isn't a lot of stats we can use, but there are still some great value picks, which I think is fantastic. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Noah Penda's line. I see a lot of value there to go on the over.